Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've been covering a few gaming goods over the past few months here, and I wanted to show off something that I bought a long while ago now. This thing is awesome. This is the Mega Construx model of the Xbox 360. It's a rather silly material good, I know. This thing does cost more than an actual console does in the year of 2024, but I do love LEGO kits, and I really loved Mega Blocks as a kid. This is a pairing made for me, and if the LEGO group won't have a partnership with the gaming worlds that I want to see, then this is the next best thing. I bought this thing from Amazon at the start of the year for around 200 NZD. Since then, this thing has gone on sale quite a few times actually over the year, so I really should have waited. That's a bummer for me. I love the packaging design here, where it really feels like it's mimicking the console really well. You have all the information that you need here on the front. The colors, the printing, the design, it's all just perfect for me. The side of the box here shows us the model from a slightly different angle and the controller. The other side here gives us all that special jargon about what's inside. There's still a couple of hidden items there, mind you, some awesome surprises inside this box here. The back of the box features again all of the special artworks and showcases some of the features involved with the model. Here we see the system, the controller, and the game case of Halo 3. We can also see that the system can be opened up to reveal all sorts of light up features inside, but obviously more on that later. I was very excited to open this. This was recorded way back in April. There's been a lot on my plate recently, so I'm only just getting to this one now. The box opens up with a flap top here. The recording space was way too tight to properly open this, so I had to adjust here, and inside we see many bags of parts. There's also some really cool artwork here of the brick-built model with some sort of anatomy-like image of the controller. There are 25 bags of pieces all together here. This was my first Mega Construx set in years. It's been so long, in fact, that the last time I bought a product of theirs, they were still being called Mega Blocks. A really big instruction booklet too, which feels like a manual for building a console. The coolest parts to spot here were these, the bag that builds the game case, but we have to wait until the very end for this thing. I was just so excited to finally see this thing in person. And I love the artwork of the booklet here. That color scheme matches the Microsoft style of the time. It feels very premium for what this kind of thing is. And after a good few hours of building, around 5 or so, this here is the finished product. The controller, the stand, the console, the game case, and even an achievement for building an Xbox. Compared to the real thing here, apologies because the real thing is quite beat up now. The scale here is tiny, it's nice and compact. I never managed to get my hands on the slimmer models of the 360s, but I like to think that that one kind of mimics that design. The actual console I still use is the Halo 4 model, which doesn't reflect the design of the current toy that we're looking at. Don't mind my cable management. The model here manages to capture the design of the console so incredibly well in my eyes. I swear that from the distance you could easily mistake this thing for the real deal. I just loved holding it. It feels very genuine, and the shaping here is perfect. You can see it matches that slight hourglass figure that the console had. Some pretty impressive stuff with these really nice tiles of printed goods. The metallic shine here as well, just incredible. There are no stickers here, period. All decals have been printed onto those pieces. The top layer there that leads to the removable hard drive also showcases printed tiles with the vent system. The HDD tile shines, and again, it's all printed. Vents continue on the back near the bottom and down that spine as well. You can also see printed parts for the plugs and the power source and the HDMI entry point. It was just so impressive to build all of this. There's some feet located at the bottom as well so that you can stand the system either way. And this here to me is the more natural design, since this was usually how I was seeing the consoles both growing up, be that at my own or at my friends and family's homes. This here is the model standing on top of the official console. It's very small in comparison, very funny to see, but a great recreation. They really nailed so many of those design aspects here. I'm impressed that even the hard drive tries to mimic the shaping and design with those curved parts that blend downwards. But now for the fun part here, and that's opening this thing up. You first remove the hard drive on top, which reveals this little switch here. Hitting that pops open the panels. They're pretty basic things to remove, and now we get to see some interior circuitry. All 3 panels here can be removed to access this little space. This is the look at the interior motherboard-like system here, all these computer parts that make the real thing function, and this is really where the big selling point of this model is. The fact that this white box has stuff inside it is the coolest aspect of the model. We have wires crossing over, little fans here, and electric parts that look like really good recreations of the real world. The favorite part here being the printed piece of the Xbox logo, which isn't a feature in the real console, of course. The best features here are the ones that utilize some creative liberties. Light up bricks are all the rage here with many functioning features. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 functioning lights on this console alone, all of which run for a couple of seconds before stopping automatically. And I believe the light bricks here are the same as one another, and the way that the color comes through is through the plastic that's placed over top. Green logo here makes that shine appear as green. Below we have Cortana's chip, and even a little piece that resembles her down here. The Cortana chip below makes the light blue. It's a gorgeous little inclusion. Exceptional details details and fun gimmicks that really sell this display piece. And this thing looks amazing once the lights have all been turned off, and the brightness of these lights is really surprising to me. As I try to hit all of these lights here in one go, the bright coloring green takes me back to the early 2000s era of Xbox identity. It's been one of my favorite things to play around with here. The model just looks so good and detailed once it's fully on display like this. One final light up model here to pair with the system though is the controller, which you can see also shows off a light up brick for turning it on. The controller is tiny, and that's something that I do wish was a little bit different here. I think it's small enough to fit in scale with the console so that they match, but this was surprisingly small for my hands to be able to handle. The key details here worth showing off are all of these printed pieces, and a couple of them even mimic the real life functions. I love the buttons and the sticks here, which are attached in a way that almost gives them some slight movement here. I can't tell if that was intentionally designed or not though. None of the other buttons here function the way that the power button does. Everything here is printed though, and because of how the rest of the model works, I was actually kind of thinking I'd be able to press down on some of the buttons, or at least the triggers or something. You can remove the battery pack though at the back, which reveals the light source and shows us how the power button works. A really cool feature to see here. Compared to the real deal, you can see how tiny this thing is, and again, my old 360 controller is very beat up in this day and age. I do apologize, but I have had this for close to a couple of decades now. The controller here includes a small stand so it can be displayed alongside the model without needing to be placed on the floor. And next up is this incredible inclusion, the game of Halo 3 as a buildable piece. Admittedly, not all of this is brick built, as you can see. The actual cover and back panels are just full giant pieces, but the bricks in between to make the case are brick built. Front cover here uses Chief, but it's actually using him as a Mega Construx figure, not just ripping artwork from the game. Compared to the game though, I think the recreation is amazing here. There's no rating at the bottom, and there's no mention of Bungie either. The spine here has also been left empty, unfortunately, but that's probably a given. The back of the box is also surprising with the amount of details provided here. We do have Chief manning the turret, and a couple of recreations of some sequences down below that don't match the cover art of the actual game, but they are still made from toys and official products from the Mega Construx Halo line. The controller image is a little strange to see here though. Just when I thought it couldn't get more impressive, the case is actually able to be opened. It opens and closes just like the real deal, and inside we have a disc. There is no game manual included however. A comparison of the discs here between the game and Mega's release, you can see Cortana staring back at us here on both, because I think the Mega Construx one is genuinely just the artwork here reprinted and not recreated in toy form. The back of the disc is a clear plastic. The disc actually does have a play function for the console as well. You can insert it into the disc space here and make the light shine. It's very simple, just something a little extra, but I will be keeping my disc in the game case myself. And one final inclusion here is an achievement for completing the build. This was a really special thing to discover here. The printed piece of the Xbox achievement is a rounder piece extruding outwards from the build. It feels great, and also 75 gamer score is a pretty good amount for finishing this thing. The last thing to cover here are the leftover pieces and the instruction manual. There are tons of leftover bricks here, including the achievement info coming in a different language, and these load-bearing orange parts, which I will be showing off once we get into the instructions. I also wanted to show off the way that the disc was packaged in here. It's in a little CD slip that has the game art on the front. I thought that was really cool. Big booklet here like I mentioned at the start of this, and it took me around 5 hours in total to build. I found it personally pretty easy to follow through as an experienced builder of Lego kits, but I was having a little bit of trouble recognizing some parts from one another and dealing with a little bit of difficulties with the bricks actually connecting. This page right here showcases the weird load-bearing wall parts, in which I had to keep them on to keep the set level while I was building, and once no longer needed, the set just tells you to remove them. In my 20 plus years of building Lego sets, I've never had a brick-based toy tell me to remove load-bearing parts, so I thought that was really interesting to see. The rest of the manual here is pretty standard building stuff. The controller first, then the console, the game case, and the achievement. The back of the manual here does have some cool imagery of the set all built up, and the other pages here show off some details of the features and how to play with all of those inclusions. We have here a long list of the inventory pieces and some MISC information at the back. Same artwork as seen on the inside of the box here is featured as well. Another nice feature here, because the box is rather large, the entire thing can fit back inside like so. Overall, it's a very expensive novelty purchase that really only appeals to gamers who also happen to be brick builders like myself, but man, this is one of my all-time favorite Lego sets I've ever bought, and it's not even Lego. If I could be greedy, some other game titles would have been amazing to see here, swapping parts out for Gears of War or Mass Effect or something else like that. I also would have loved to have seen some figures included here, even something as simple like an Xbox avatar included Inclusion or Master Chief, but the more things added in, the higher the price point. I do wish the controller was bigger in scale though, that's ultimately what makes this feel like a toy compared to the real thing. I do love that shaping and the design of the console, but the controller, it's just a little too small for my hands, otherwise a perfect little model set. The lights are very impressive, the printed parts are exceptional, and it just really feels like a dream set come true for someone like me, but from a company that I wasn't really familiar with. I would love to see more like this in the future. Thank you for watching everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video, I'll see you all next time.